Is there a song missing from this? I was on 34. I was on 34. I feel like there might be songs missing here. No, there's no song missing. I just wasn't paying attention when it played. This one goes to only 3 pages, and this one goes to 8 pages, I think. What the heck was that? Dude, was I completely confused when when I was editing this playlist before? Or is this... I don't think this was the version that I had in my car. Maybe it was, I don't even remember. I think I had a different version of this song in my car, though. I don't know. This song might be kind of lame. Maybe I'll just copy this one. Did I write down how far I got yesterday? I got way past 833. I think. I don't know why I didn't write it down. I think I just thought to myself, I'm not even going to read the rest of this. I'm just going to review the rules. Use an F. It's funny how I basically spent the entire week preparing for this auditing quiz. Even though really all I had to do was read the rules parts, I didn't really have to read the other stuff. Oh, it's so much reading when in fact he doesn't even quiz us over most of it. He only quiz most of the time. It seems like he's just quizzing us over the rules. And in these notes, I didn't write any application sections that he talked about in class. In class, he talked about the rules, and he didn't talk about anything from the application. And in this section, he talked about A14, 15 to 17, 18, and 37 to 38. So that's funny. So that was funny. Now I have to read like 8 pages here. Yep. Well, actually, like 7.5 pages. So, and then I have to read the application that's in the notes. So, understanding the entity and its environment and assessing the risks of material misstatements. Kind of weird how they combine both of those things into one section. Like, really? It's 60 pages. You could have made those two things separate, couldn't you? It says through understanding the entity and its environment. Be serious. You gotta make sure I'm not forgetting about any other homework. I don't think, technically speaking, I don't think I have any homework all this weekend except for the strategic management stuff. Or weekend, did I say week? Weekend. So I should be fine. So this is due on the 28th, which today's the 24th. 25th, 26th, 27th. It's due Tuesday night, right? So this is due Tuesday night, take-home test, and then this class has something due Tuesday morning, I think. So I can do that Monday. Tuesday morning, so I can do this Monday night. This stuff. Man, getting through all those chapters without having reading them still. But I should be fine. Like, if I set aside, like, a few days to read all those chapters, I should be fine. It's just going to be a long, grueling 3 days of reading. Ugh. Maybe spring break. No, I don't want to do that during spring break. No. Oh my goodness. I just want to have a nice long break. Spring break with no homework. Like, come on. So this class, we were doing our group project. I really hope my group members actually allow me to do something. Although at the same time, I don't want them to. So yeah, we have our reading thingy and video, and then our team case assignment thingy. And then what's next week? Oh, geez, we have an exam. Okay. Well, at least, you know what? I'm glad. Okay, actually, the exams in this class are going to be hard, but they're still better than the writing assignments, at least. So at least we just have that exam. And then what's the next week after that? Oh, another team written thing. Are you kidding me? Man, why do we have so many team assignments? This is annoying. Auditing, of course, just our normal stuff. Oh, I should just double check. It's funny, I've actually spent way more time on the auditing class than almost any other class so far, because even though all it is reading and taking quizzes, because we have our quizzes, that means I actually have to study like a few other classes. It's so weird, dude. Oh my gosh. Okay. Like, I have studied way more for this quiz than I did for that one quiz where I got a 28 out of 30. And the only reason I missed stuff on that quiz was because I wasn't in class, because the thing that I missed was something he talked about in class, but it wasn't in the reading. Like, the only reason I got a 28 out of 30 is because I missed class because I was sick. But I don't care. I'm not going to ask him to fix my grade because I was sick for that day. 2 points is like nothing. Also, my nose is stuffed because I did not bring my nasal spray with me here, and I stayed here for 3 days. Well, not 3 days, but Wednesday, Thursday, and now Friday. Gosh dang it. So after today's quiz and when I get home, I will have from literally like 2 p.m. today all the way till midnight on Sunday night to do something for that group project. That's so much time. So much time. I have to do something for that. I have to contribute something. I'm probably going to read over everything and then, like, literally just assert myself in that group chat. Like, I am going to do this section because this one guy in our group keeps doing everything, which actually I don't mind, except for the fact that now everyone thinks I haven't, or because I haven't contributed anything, I'm like worthless in the group. So I need to do something. Oh my goodness! Like for our last group project, I read a bunch of information for our group project. I spent like a few hours on it, and then after that, the team member did the final remaining sections, and I didn't get a chance to do anything. I have just a minute here. I think my mom might leave for work before I leave for school. That's kind of weird. I need to continue. I need to read this stuff. Assertions. I'm kind of not quite getting the definitions of these terms. Man, I bet he's going to ask us to define one of these terms. I should probably study these terms quite a bit. Maybe what I'll do is do that one thing where I printed all that stuff onto my phone or onto an image on my phone or something. I wish there was an easy way to make it phone readable. Like basically to make it into a picture form that is big enough text that and also that's in the shape of a phone screen. But it's just annoying. It's just a lot of work to get it to look like that. Gosh dang it. Internal control. You know, it's funny. Like, I have like 3 big things I want to do in life, and I'm being prevented from doing all 3 of them because of my school. So, thanks a lot, school. And the things I want to do are not things that people would think are worthwhile, but I like doing them, and I think they're worthwhile to me at least. But I can't do any 3 of them. Actually, maybe composing music is, but the type of music I compose is not really the type of music that most people like. And cubing, well, what's the value in cubing other than people like it's kind of interesting to watch somebody cube or get good at cubing. And then speedrunning, same deal. It's like, wow, this is a really cool speedrun to watch. That's about it. That's it's kind of the same logic that football has, where the entire point of football is because people enjoy watching it, but not enough people enjoy watching cubing or speedrunning for it to be a job. So too bad. The only reason football works in that way is because it's so incredibly popular. You know, in sports, like those types of major sports in general. There's way more people interested in sports than there are people interested in cubing or speedrunning, especially speedrunning a very specific game. Because I only speedrun one game and one category of that one game. It's the most popular category of the game, or is it? Is it really the most popular? Because 100% is actually pretty popular. But stop. Internal control, a process affected by those charged with governance management and other personnel that is designed to provide reasonable assurance about the achievement of the entity's objectives with regard to the reliability of financial reporting, effectiveness and efficiency of operations, and compliance with applicable laws and regulations. Internal control over safeguarding of assets against unauthorized acquisition, use, or disposition may include controls relating to financial reporting and operations objectives. It's kind of weird how they include that definition. Relevant assertion. A financial statement assertion that has a reasonable possibility of containing a misstatement or misstatements that would cause the financial statements to be materially misstated. The determination of whether an assertion is a relevant assertion is made without regard to the effect of internal controls. Oh, that's kind of an interesting thing. Risk assessment procedures. Well, that's a big one. They refer to that a million times in this document. And I read 27 pages of this document. I didn't even read the whole thing, and it's already referred to it a million times in that period of time. In those pages. That was funny. And yeah, I'm not going to read the rest of the document, unfortunately. Or maybe fortunately. Because it was such a waste of time. Oh my goodness. Hopefully he doesn't have any quiz questions for the latter half of the document. But you would think he would, because he assigned us to read the whole thing. My goodness, dude. But I mean, at some point I might literally just not read the application sections because he doesn't seem to be testing us over those sections. Because that one quiz where I did not read nearly enough, like that one quiz, was it 2 weeks ago? Where I read all of the rules and I only read some of the application. And the only reason I got a question wrong in the quiz was because I missed something in class that it's talked about that wasn't even in the rating. Apparently they're not called rules, they're called requirements. Dang it. Risk assessment procedures. The audit procedures performed to obtain an understanding of the entity and its environment. So I guess the reason they combine those two things is because they're literally just interrelated. Including the entity's internal control. To identify and assess the risks of material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error at the financial statement and relevant assertion levels. So, significant risk. An identified and assessed risk of material misstatement that in the auditor's professional judgment requires special audit consideration. So I think maybe wait, I'm a little confused because I'm confusing. There's material weakness and then there's significant deficiency and then there's significant risk. So wait, do those other two terms I was talking about only relate to internal control? I can't remember. Dang it. Okay, now we have to read all these requirements. How many of these are there? It goes from 5 to... oh, jeez. 33. It's 5 to 33. Gosh dang it. Yeah. What if I finally do bad on a quiz? It's so funny. He only took 2 points off when I was missing one definition from the fraud diamond or whatever. I guess there was only one term in definition of the term that I was missing, so I missed 2 points for it. Wow, by tomorrow it will be having... or no, actually by yesterday, because the semester didn't start on the 25th, it started on the 23rd. But by yesterday, it's been exactly 1 month since our semester started. And I have not read a single page of the governmental accounting textbook, or the strategic management textbook, or the intermediate accounting textbook, in fact. I've barely read any of our textbooks after this whole month. And we don't even have a textbook for auditing, but I've been reading these readings, obviously. Like, yeah, I've read a few pages of those other three, but really haven't spent the time to actually read all that stuff. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, we have an exam next sundown in strategic management. So, wait a minute. Do we have an exam this Wednesday? This upcoming Wednesday for intermediate accounting? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, man, do we have an exam? Because I feel like we're getting close to the end of Chapter 14. And speaking of Chapter 14, when is he ever going to post all the stuff for Chapter 14? When on earth are we going to have our exam? I wonder if he's going to push it back even further. Because I think we're still not even close to the end of Chapter 14. I don't know why we're going through the material so slowly. He's trying to get through everything in the PowerPoints and stuff, but it's taking so long. What was I going to just... Oh. Yeah, he still hasn't posted everything yet for Chapter 14. All he's done is posted the handout and the presentation. I somehow doubt we're going to have our quiz this next week because we still haven't gotten close to the end of Chapter 14, or have we? I don't remember how far we got in class. Okay, I think I know something I'm going to have to study for this, which is like, what's the difference between the financial statement level and the relevant assertion level? So, the risk assessment procedures should include the following. Maybe I should memorize this one. Inquiries of management, appropriate individuals within the internal audit function, if such function exists, others within the entity who, in the auditor's professional judgment, may have information that is likely to assist in identifying risks of material misstatement due to fraud or error, analytical procedures, observation, and it's funny, they never go into detail about what the analytical procedures are. So weird. Why wouldn't they say which analytical procedures that would be used? Maybe there's examples at the end of the document, maybe in an appendix or something. So yeah, I feel like this might be important. So 315.06. Just copying stuff that I think could be important or something. Y'all. How come I can see that key change coming so easily? Maybe because I've listened to the song like a grand total of 3 other times. My goodness. So all this stuff was risk assessment procedures and related activities. And then we have this section, understanding the entity and its environment, including the entity's internal control. Oh, jeez. I bet this is something from this on the quiz. Oh, no. Oh, man. I might have to write down, I might have to memorize everything from 12. Gosh dang it, man. Like, all the stuff I need to kind of review for this. It'd be nice if I could put it into picture form that I could put on my phone and study, but I don't know if I have time. Let's copy this boring section. So, 12. The entity and its environment. Right. Oh no, are you serious? How did something get over here? Okay. So, that was funny. That was funny. We still have all of March and April to get through. All of March and April. Oh my gosh. Right. The entity's internal control. The auditor should obtain an understanding of internal control relevant to the audit. Although most controls relevant to the audit are likely to relate to financial reporting, not all controls that relate to financial reporting are relevant to the audit. It is a matter of the auditor's professional judgment whether a control, individually or in combination with others, is relevant to the audit. That's fine. Just realized there's a cube He talked about, actually, he talked about it last week, weirdly enough. He talked about a cube, and I noticed the cube was in the reading for this week, but he talked about it last week. So there is a very good chance he's going to have that cube on the quiz, and he might even say, you need to explain every part of this cube, which, oh no, dude, I don't think I could be able to do that. Oh man, like in the readings too, it didn't really explain the cube either. Well, I don't know, maybe it did. That's fine. I think I had a bit of a cold over the past week because I had a sore throat and kind of a little bit of a cough throughout this whole time. In fact, on Tuesday, I can't forget what happened on Tuesday. I was struggling not to cough for like 10, 15 minutes straight in my government accounting class. It was horrible. That was funny. When obtaining an understanding of controls that are relevant to the audit, the auditor should evaluate the design of those controls and determine whether they have been implemented by performing procedures in addition to the inquiry of the entity's personnel. Components of internal control. Oh, great. We might have to memorize all these. Oh. Oh, no. I wonder if he's going to ask us to define, like, control environment. Great. Like, what are the 5 components of internal control? Ah, man. Control environment. Let's see here. Entities risk assessment process. A risk assessment process information system, including the related business processes relevant to financial reporting and communication. The way they refer to this is weird. Because I had some of this stuff written down in previous notes. So there was control environment, risk assessment, control activities, information and communication. You know what I'm going to write? I'm going to write information system. Including the related business processes relevant to financial reporting and communication. I'm going to just say information and communication in parentheses. Because it might be, I don't know if he's going to ask us to literally explain every single thing on the quiz. He might not even have a question related to this. And then we have, and then what about the control activities? Oh, here we go. Control activities. And then what? There's one more. Monitoring of controls, I think. Monitoring of controls. Okay. So there, I think those are like the 5 internal control. That's funny. Evaluate whether management, with the oversight of those charged with governance, has created and maintained a culture of honesty and ethical behavior, and the strengths in the control environment elements collectively provide an appropriate foundation for the other components of internal control, and whether those other control components are not undermined by deficiencies in the control environment. Okay, so that could be maybe a thing I could type in here, like so control environment paste, and then something about the fact that it's like the foundation of the other controls. Or the other components. Okay. So, what did I write about this in the other notes, anyways? So, yeah, this was when he was talking about internal control. So, anyways. Risk assessment, the entity's risk assessment process. Understand whether the entity has a process for identifying business risks relevant to financial reporting objectives, estimating the significance of the risks, assessing the likelihood of their occurrence, and deciding about actions to address those risks. Wow. Dude, I still need to get my refund from Walmart. Like it says it processed, or my refund has been issued, but I have not gotten a refund yet. I don't think I'm showing any sensitive information by doing this. Because like it shows like the last few numbers of my account numbers. I don't think that's enough. I still haven't gotten my refund. As you can see, my financial situation is not very good right now. But once I get that refund, hopefully that will make it last longer. Oh my goodness. if the entity has established a risk assessment process. Referred to hereafter as the entity's risk assessment process. The auditor should obtain an understanding of it and the results thereof. If the auditor identifies risks of material misstatement that management failed to identify, the auditor should evaluate whether an underlying risk existed that the auditor expects would have been identified by the entity's risk assessment process. If such a risk exists, the auditor should obtain an understanding of why that process failed to identify it and evaluate whether the process is appropriate to its circumstances, or determine if a significant deficiency or material weakness exists in internal control regarding the entity's risk assessment process. Okay, that's funny. If the entity has not established such a process, that's funny. If the entity has not established such a process, or as an ad hoc process, the auditor should discuss with management whether business risks relevant to financial reporting objectives have been identified and how they have been addressed. The auditor should evaluate whether the absence of a documented risk assessment process is appropriate in the circumstances, or determine whether it represents a significant deficiency or material weakness in the entity's internal control. Maybe for future quizzes, I might not try to read the whole thing. I might just read the requirements like multiple times instead of reading the whole thing. I don't know, dude. I feel like that's a better way to study for these quizzes. Yeah. The information system, including the related business processes relevant to financial reporting and communication. The auditor should obtain an understanding of the information system, including the related business processes relevant to financial reporting, including the following areas: the classes of transactions and the entity's operations that are significant to the financial statements, the procedures within both IT and manual systems by which those transactions are initiated, authorized, recorded, processed, corrected as necessary, transferred to the general ledger, and reported in the financial statements. The related accounting records supporting information. The related accounting records supporting information in specific accounts So oh my gosh, the related accounting records supporting information and specific accounts in the financial statements that are used to initiate, authorize, record, process, and report transactions. This includes the correction of incorrect information and how information is transferred to the general ledger. The records may be in either manual or electronic form. How the information system captures events and conditions other than transactions that are significant to the financial statements. The financial reporting process used to prepare the entity's financial statements, including significant accounting estimates and disclosures, controls surrounding journal entries, including non-standard journal entries used to record non-recurring, unusual transactions or adjustments. The auditor should obtain an understanding of how the entity communicates financial reporting, roles and responsibilities, and significant matters relating to financial reporting, including communications between management and those charged with governance and external communications, such as those with regulatory authorities. Control activities relevant to the audit Wow. Everyone in Twins speedrunning world got busy with life, so we haven't been able to do very many runs recently, although I haven't really checked Twitch to see if they've been doing runs. They just haven't said anything in Discord. When did DeoChomp do a run last, or stream last? The last time he streamed was 4 days ago. Oh geez. And how about Joe? That'd be funny if there's some embarrassing person I'm just following too. This stupid system of sorting the channels I'm following is so stupid because there's no way to sort for the ones you want or the ones that most recently streamed or whatever. Like seriously, come on. Like Joe's the one I'm following like mostly lately, and then 4 days ago. So none of us have done any speedruns since. Well, they both didn't do it since 4 days ago, so that means Thursday. So yeah, both of them haven't done it since Monday, and I haven't done it since Tuesday. Oh boy, got busy with our lives because it's the middle of the week. Maybe I'll do some over the weekend, but I'm not going to do any over the weekend unless I finish my group project thing early, which would be very nice. Like if I can somehow finish that group project by like the middle of Saturday, that would be so nice because then I could have all of the rest of Saturday and all of Sunday to do Crash with Sandy stuff. That was funny. Well, control activities relevant to the audit. The auditor should obtain an understanding of control activities relevant to the audit. Which are those control activities the auditor judges it necessary to understand in order to assess the risks of material misstatement at the assertion level and design further audit procedures responsive to assessed risks An audit does not require an understanding of all the control activities related to each significant class of transactions, account balance, and disclosure in the financial statements, or to every assertion relevant to them. However, the auditor should obtain an understanding of the process of reconciling detailed records to the general ledger for material account balances. You sniffed. However, the auditor should obtain an understanding of the process of reconciling detailed records to the general ledger for material account balances. I don't even know if this is important, but I don't know, maybe. He sniffed. In understanding the entity's control activities, the auditor should obtain an understanding of how the entity has responded to risks arising from IT monitoring of controls. That was fun. Monitoring of controls. The auditor should obtain an understanding of the major activities that the entity uses to monitor internal control over financial reporting, including those related to those control activities relevant to the audit, and how the entity initiates remedial actions to deficiencies in its controls. If the entity has an internal audit function, the auditor should obtain an understanding of the nature of the internal audit function's responsibilities. I think there was supposed to be a comma there. How the internal audit function fits in the entity's organizational structure and the activities performed or to be performed. The auditor should obtain an understanding of the sources of the information used in the entity's monitoring activities and the basis upon which management considers the information to be sufficiently reliable for the purpose. I remember reading this paragraph and I was like, my God, what does this even mean? What is this? Anyways, identifying and assessing the risks of material misstatement. So there's like these three major sections. The first section was risk assessment procedures and related activities. Understanding the entity and its environment, including the entity's internal control. And then we have identifying and assessing the risks of material misstatement. What did I just click? I don't even know what I just clicked. To provide a basis to provide a basis for designing and performing further audit procedures. Oh man, I think the auditor should identify and assess the risks of material misstatement at the financial statement level and the relevant assertion level for classes of transactions. So it's Microsoft Word that I clicked on accidentally. Isn't that fun? The relevant assertion level for classes of transactions, account balances, and disclosures. $315.26. The auditor should identify risks throughout the process of obtaining an understanding of the entity and its environment, including relevant controls that relate to the risks by considering the classes of transactions, account balances, and disclosures, including the quantitative and qualitative aspects of such disclosures in the financial statements. Assess the identified risks and evaluate whether they relate more pervasively to the financial statements as a whole and potentially affect many assertions. Relate the identified risks to what can go wrong at the relevant assertion level, taking account of relevant controls that the auditor intends to test, and consider the likelihood of misstatement, including the possibility of multiple misstatements and whether the potential misstatement could result in a material misstatement. The auditor should determine whether any of the risks identified are, in the auditor's professional judgment, a significant risk. In exercising this judgment, the auditor should exclude the effects of identified risks, identified controls related to the risk. In exercising professional judgment about which risks are significant risks. Also, maybe I should just copy all the definitions into my document too. Yeah, probably. Gosh dang it. In exercising professional judgment about which risks are significant risks, the auditor should consider at least whether the risk is a risk of fraud, whether the risk is related to recent
significant economic, accounting, or other developments, and therefore require specific attention. The complexity of transactions, whether the risk involves significant transactions with related parties, the degree of subjectivity in the measurement of financial information related to the risk, especially those measurements involving a wide range of measurement uncertainty, and whether the risk involves significant unusual transactions. If the auditor has determined that a significant risk exists, the auditor should obtain an understanding of the entity's controls, including control activities relevant to that risk, and based on that understanding, evaluate whether such controls have been suitably designed and implemented to mitigate such risks. I really hope they don't take away the work I was supposed to do and then give me a 0 because I didn't do anything. Random notes. In respect of some risks, the auditor may judge that it is not possible or practicable to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence only from substantive procedures. Such risks may relate to the inaccurate or incomplete recording of routine and significant classes of transactions or account balances, the characteristics of which often permit highly automated processing with little or no manual intervention. In such cases, the entity's controls over such risks are relevant to the audit, and the auditor should obtain an understanding of them. Revision of risk assessment. The auditor's assessment of the risks of material misstatement
may change during the course of the audit as additional audit evidence is obtained. Dude, what if I come back from school and they've already finished the whole project? Oh my goodness.
Alright, we just have our documentation, then we're finally... Oh, not, because we have to read some application. Dang it! Oh. Okay. Do we really need to read about the documentation? Who cares? We're not leaving exactly 1 hour. We're gonna leave it... even 11:50 seems early, because, like, it takes less time to get there from here. And plus my car is in the garage, so that's fine. Although it does take a bit more time to leave now, because my car is in the garage, and the garage door is a manual opening door. It's fine. That's fine. The application was A14. A14 through 18. Are you kidding me? I have to read all that? Man, A14 through 18. How long is that? Analytical procedures. It's funny how they don't actually say anything specific about analytical procedures. They don't mention specific procedures. They just talk about them. Well, I gave one example, the relationship between sales and square footage of selling space, or volume of goods sold. Analytical procedures may enhance the auditor's understanding of the client's business and the significant transactions and events that have occurred since the prior audit, and also may help to identify the existence of unusual transactions or events and amounts, ratios, and trends that might indicate matters that have audit implications. Unusual or unexpected relationships that are identified may assist the auditor in identifying risks of material misstatement, especially risks of material misstatement due to fraud. What was it? However, when such analytical procedures use data aggregated at a high level, which may be the situation with analytical procedures performed as risk assessment procedures, the results of those analytical procedures provide only a broad initial indication about whether a material misstatement may exist. Accordingly, in such cases, consideration of other information that has been gathered when identifying the risks of material misstatement, together with the results of such analytical procedures, may assist the auditor in understanding and evaluating the results of the analytical procedures. Oh my goodness. Some smaller entities may not have interim or monthly financial information that can be used for purposes of analytical procedures. In these circumstances, although the auditor may be able to perform limited analytical procedures, for purposes of planning the audit or obtain some information through inquiry, the auditor may need to plan to perform analytical procedures to identify and assess the risks of material misstatement when an early draft of the entity's financial statements is available. Observation and inspection. Observation and inspection may support inquiries of management on others and also may provide information about the entity and its environment. Examples of such audit procedures include observation or inspection of the following: the entity's operations, documents such as business plans and strategies, records and internal control manuals, reports prepared. How is a report different from a document? Reports prepared by management, such as quarterly management reports and interim financial statements, those charged with governance, such as minutes of board of directors meetings, and internal audit reports. The entity's premises and plant facilities. So that was A 14 through 18, and then we have A 37 to 38. That was fun. Wow. Objectives and strategies related and related business risks. The entity conducts its business in the context of industry, regulatory, and other internal and external factors. To respond to these factors, the entity's management or those charged with governance define objectives, which are the overall plans for the entity. Strategies. Strategies are the approaches by which management intends to achieve its objectives. The entity's objectives and strategies may change over time. Business risk. Is broader than the risk of material misstatement of the financial statements, though it includes the latter. Business risk may arise from change or complexity. A failure to recognize the need for change also may give rise to business risk. Business risk may arise, for example, from the development of new products or services that may fail, a market that, even if successfully developed, is inadequate to support a product or service, or flaws in a product or service that may result in liabilities and reputational risk. And there you go, I've read everything I need to read. I think what I'll do is copy in those definitions. Where are the definitions? Let's see here. So they're all under paragraph 4. Weird. So paragraph 4. So starting here, we have 315.04 definitions. That's funny. And once I have those copied, that means I'll have everything I need to study in the Notepad document. I won't have to look back at the document mostly. That's funny. Wait. Oh, I don't even need to copy that first one. Nice. Assertions. Here. Here are the definitions. So, there you go. Hey! I accidentally did this in the wrong place. Cut. I'm supposed to do it here. There, now it should work. Oh, come on. I have to recopy it. There. Oh! Now I have to re-highlight it. Paste. So we have all of our definitions. So now we have... Oh yeah, and I almost forgot about the cube. I need the cube on page 26. So the cube on page 26... Gosh dang it. I'll just take a picture of that, or I'll take a snapshot and send it to my phone. So 26... Do they even explain the cube? Where's the cube? A direct relationship exists between an entity's objectives and the controls it implements. Hold on a second. Yeah. Here are the controls. Wait. No, these are components. Oh. The relationship between the entity's objectives and the controls. They relate to financial reporting, operations, and compliance. Now, it's weird because in the other cube that my professor drew on the board, there was more than just units and functions. Gosh dang it, man. Maybe I should look up the better cube. Oh, geez. What is this cube even called? Internal control. What is it even called? The COSO cube. Let's look it up. The COSO cube. Please give me a better version of the cube. In fact, I could just look it up on my phone and then download it to my phone. Okay. Instead of... the first result that comes up, let's see if this is a good one. No, stop it, Google. Stop it. You're covering up my cube. Entity, we have function, operating unit, division, and entity. I want the one that includes all the things that he wrote on his cube. Let's see. Is that all of them? I thought there were 5 different things there. Wait, let's see. Hey, entity, divisions, operating units, functions, and people. This one doesn't include people? Oh, man. I want the one that includes people. Dang it. Ugh, this one sucks. Oh my gosh, this one's not even the right cube. Dude, oh my gosh, why are these cubes different? Wait a minute. Control environment. None of these cubes include people. Are you kidding me? That's one of the things. Ugh. And a lot of these have different names. And some of the cubes have more things on them. This sucks. Should I just go with the first cube? I think the first cube is the same as the one in the book, except it has more. Instead of just unit and function, it also has entity level and division. So the one in here has only units and functions, but both of them have financial reporting. Well, this one just says reporting, operations, compliance, control environment, risk assessment, information and communication, control activities, monitoring. Okay, so they're slightly different, but the one on my phone here includes everything that is included here. Just a few words are different and the order is a little different, and it also includes a few extra things like entity level. So that was funny. I'll just download this cube. That was funny. Gosh dang it. Financial reporting. Objectives include... Oh no! There's no labels for all these. Are you kidding me? I want the labels. No. Do any of these cubes have the labels? You've got to be kidding. You know what? I'll just download 2 different cubes. This cube is one, and then the one I downloaded on the online thing is also another one. And the only way to get this one is to do this. It's so fun how it always defaults to a window snip or a window mode when I want it to be rectangle. So now I'll just mail it to myself. Thanks for not leaving it open in the background, dang it. Dude, I barely even get a study any of this stuff. There's some random other. Oh yeah, that other Noah was in one of my classes once. Anyways. So just paste this. Okay. That'd be funny if I accidentally sent it to somebody. And I can do that in that email now because I set it up so I can look at my school email on my phone and even get notifications on my phone for my school emails. So that's really nice. Stop. I didn't want a notification that time though. Now I can download this cube. Save to device. I now have 2 versions of the cube on my phone, just in case. So, that's going to be fun. I bet I'm going to be frantically studying for that quiz, like, in the 5 minutes that I have before class to do that. Maybe while I'm waiting for my computer to open up, I can study the cubes on my phone. That's fun. You know what would be nice is if I had a couple of things I could study on my phone while my computer was opening up. I don't even know what to do, though. Oh, yippee skippy, I bet I was excluded from doing anything from this project. That's what I think every time I get a message in Teams. Nope, it was just somebody saying thanks to it yet again. So I think we're done with this stuff. That was fun. So that was funny. I do have a bit more time to study before I leave. That's funny. That was funny. This one includes people in the cube. Whatever. Wellness check. So that's funny. Man, this is long. Study thing is long. I could possibly have to study here. Definitions. That was funny, that was funny, that was funny, that was funny, that was funny.